Hi, this is Margo. This is Sunday evening, December the 19th, 2021. I hope everyone is safe and doing as well as possible. We made it through another week, and it's getting harder to get through these weeks for a lot of people. I know, I understand, but I'd like to welcome everyone to the show tonight. This will be my weekly update that I will be putting on YouTube. We're going to look at methane, sea ice, and earthquakes, and the usual weekly things. Now I'm going to start out with the NOAA data for the last couple of days, or the last 2 days of data that I'd not reported on. I've got the 17th, that was Friday here. This is for the 477/469 millibar reading for the Met-Op-B, which is really the Met-Op-1 satellite in the morning. The mean or average was 1917 parts per billion. The high reading was 2622, so that's gone up a little bit there on that high reading. In the afternoon, the mean was 1914 and the high reading was 2541. Then for yesterday, the 18th, back in the morning, the mean was 1914. The high reading was 2418. And in the afternoon, the mean was 1913 and the high reading was 2442. So here is the spreadsheet and the chart where we've been tracking this, and this is just for the Met-Op-1 satellite. And so for the 17th, that averaged out to be 1915.5. That was a decrease over the day before of 3.5. So that went down very sharply. And then for the 18th, it averages out to be 1913.5, and so that was another good-sized decrease of 2 parts per billion, giving us an overall decrease this week of 5 parts per billion. We're still 14.5 parts per billion higher than we were this time a year ago. So I'll show you what we did this week. Here it was on my show last Sunday. This is the Saturday reading that was at 1918.5. Now see, that had gone up that day, 2.5, but it still showed a decrease of 2.5 for the week. Then for Sunday it went down 2. Monday it went down 0.5. Tuesday it went up 1.5. Wednesday it went up 0.5. Thursday it went up 1. So see, we got 3 days in a row there where it was going up. And then Friday it went down 3.5. And Saturday it went down 2, giving us the overall decrease of 5 parts per billion for this week. So right now we're sitting at 1913.5, and here's our chart. You can see this line is going down now. It would have gone down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks in a row. Now we peaked out on October the 2nd at 1936, and we are in the cooling season for methane, the decreasing season. Generally that goes through most of December, and recently it's been going up, sometimes starting in December. Last winter it kept going down until about mid-January. See where it did this little spike up here in mid-January, and then went back down, and then it started on its ascent again. So we're really in no man's land. So we're 14.5 parts per billion higher than a year ago. We're 49 parts per billion higher than March the 1st of 2019 when I first started tracking this. So we'll just have to see, you know, when it bottoms out this season and then what happens. Now we'll move on to the CAMS methane data. This is from Copernicus Atmosphere Monitoring Services. This is for Saturday the 18th. I have the Arctic view and surface level ready to go. Now in my show last week I went into detailed explanation about the new look, the new higher readings that we're seeing across these maps. Now the color chart didn't change, but the maps changed, and it's because they incorporated a new data set. And I understand that a data set is it's a model from data from all different stations and different things that they factor in. And so it's not observations. I understand that, and I knew that. But so this is a new data set that they've incorporated, thinking that it's closer to what we're actually seeing, of what we're actually experiencing with the data. So it just looks pretty bad to me. So here we're going to start here in the Arctic. Before it starts out, I want to just draw your attention to this area in the North Kara Sea here around Komsomolets. I mean, that looks like a blowout to me. Let's see, it's been streaming across, and it's no one's talking about this. No one ever talks about this. They talk about the Laptev Sea and East Siberian Sea and, you know, the permafrost thawing, but they don't talk about this that's been going on for 2 years now. I have my theories about why they're not talking about it, but it seems to me like someone would get up there and check that out. But then again, if it's in protected military space, that would be a little bit difficult for the researchers to get to, unless they're military. And I doubt that we would have access to that information. So the data is for Saturday, and the forecast period is Sunday through Wednesday. And look at these high readings all across Russia now. This is from the permafrost that's thawing. Now, even though it's winter time, we still have super high releases of methane. And see, this is coming up through the sea ice, and it's still high reading here at Koktovik at Alaska. Now we're seeing overall lower readings now creeping in. See the green instead of the yellows and oranges, but we've got these waves. See this burst that came off of North America, these waves that are just moving out and across like a weird kaleidoscope. And when you see those waves, that's a sign of very high methane. And you have to remember, this is the highest it's been for this time of year. I mean, ever since I've been recording this, and it's been going steadily up and pretty much just kind of spiking up now. So I'm just reporting what I'm seeing, and looks pretty bad to me. So here we're on the North Pole view. You can see China's filled up, and the black wave, I call it black, it's dark reddish brown. See it moving out down to southern Asia and out, and then there's another wave see this other wave bursting out across the Pacific. India's still filled up, and see where it's spilling over the coastlines. Here, this is in the Bengal Bay, and this is the Arabian Sea, very high readings. Here's the Persian Gulf. That looks like that's going down a little bit. And look at the UK and Europe and Spain. See that's just filled up, and see these waves moving out in the Atlantic. And then the US, from Texas over, is just a big blob for a lot of the time here, especially in the forecast period. There it is on Thursday and Friday. That's just awful. And then California's filled up. Now we'll go down to the Antarctic, and on this new data set, the background color for the southern hemisphere is couple of these couple of colors lighter or higher. So here's the Western Peninsula, here's the Ross Ice Shelf and Ross Sea at the south. This is the Weddell Sea. And so over most of the Antarctic, we've got that 1840 reading, and then the next color down is 1820, and as methane is going down, we'll see these colors reflect that as we go down in the color ledger. And with these higher readings, it's harder for us to discern the methane that's coming up around the coastlines. We had been seeing it here at the Larsen B. So once we get into the 1820 range as the background color over the Antarctic, we'll be able to discern the methane around the coastlines a little bit better, I think. And here at the Amory Ice Shelf, it's coming up, and the Brunt Ice Shelf up here coming up, and at certain areas down here next to the Ross Ice Shelf, it's been coming up. Here's the global view. So for most of the northern hemisphere, at least the green, the dark green and higher, that dark green is 1920 parts per billion. That's this color. And see, South America's popping back up there. Now this is, they're heading, the southern South America, they're heading into their summer, along with Australia, New Zealand, and of course the Antarctic. It's in full sunlight. Now Tuesday will be the winter solstice for the northern hemisphere, which will be the longest day of the year, the shortest day of the year, the longest night. And for the southern hemisphere, it'll be the summer, first day of summer. And the longest day for them. This looks awful. So with this new model, here's 500 HPA, and see, that's in the highest color, the highest reading, pretty much covering the Arctic region and going down pretty far south. See, even to the Mediterranean, and coming down through Canada and so on. And no blues yet. We're still in greens for the lowest reading there. And here's total column for yesterday. This is where they add up the methane readings through all the layers of the atmosphere. So we can see these highest readings here in China, where that wave had gone down into Asia. See, even the tip of India, and then here from Russia down, and here South America. This is Brazil, and then a lot of reds, which is, it's still super high, and then oranges too. So there's that. I'm going to close out that one, and we'll go through. Here's sulfur dioxide for today. Now, La Palma has calmed down. It hasn't erupted for the last few days, so we're not going to see. Now here it is at 500 HPA. So this is leftover sulfur dioxide from La Palma that streamed up. Here this is Popocatépetl and so on. Here's the ozone hole over the Antarctic for today. We can see it's really closed up, and we've only got one color down in the danger zone. So this is one level. This is between 200 and 220 Dobson units, and then the aqua is the next color up. So anything from, so the solid yellow, that's 300 Dobson units, and that's considered average or a good layer of ozone. So starting with this kind of yellow-green and going down through the greens and blues and then into the danger zone even. These are all below normal. So we still got quite a bit of the Antarctic still in thin ozone. And remember, this is full sunlight, and so all this ice is in high melt now. Here's the Arctic ozone. We've got a thinning over Greenland. Now when we look at Climate Reanalyzer today, you're going to see this is all red in 2-meter temperature anomaly. It's all higher than normal for this time of year. So we've got even down into aqua over it. And then we've got thin here over Komsomolets, and high methane will also break down the ozone layer. So that doesn't surprise me to see that thinning over Komsomolets where that methane has just been billowing. Here's the global view. We're seeing the aqua now come in around the equator, and so it's quite thin. Then the greens around the mid-latitudes. And see, here's a break coming up from the Antarctic up through South America. And that's all of those. Now, I'll show you Climate Reanalyzer next, so we'll have some context. So, see, here's Greenland. This is 2-meter temperature anomaly from today. See, that's in the bright red. That's about 18 to 20 C higher than normal. So all of Greenland is in a higher range, and see northern Canada here, Baffin Bay, and see we've got red just next to Svalbard and brown going across to Russia. Now we've got purple up here going across Russia, and this is where we saw a lot of methane releasing. So it just goes to show that just because you have colder air temperatures doesn't stop the methane. Doesn't do that. And then see the Antarctic's covered in brown. Right now it's 2.7 C higher than normal. It had been up to 3 C higher than normal this week. Worldwide, we're up 0.4 C higher than normal. The northern hemisphere is up 0.6 C. The Arctic is up 0.7 C. The tropics are up 0.2 C. Southern hemisphere is up 0.2 C. And Antarctic is up 2.7 C. Here's precipitation and clouds today. We're seeing rain here between Iceland and Greenland, and then rain coming up to the southern tip of Greenland. And then snow over a lot of here. Now look at this rain over the Aleutian Island, or no, Aleutian Islands are down here. So this is coming up pretty far north. See the rain band coming up to Russia and Alaska there. And does that look like a stream? This is, they call it the jet stream. It's no stream anymore. Look at these huge loops, and this is pretty frightening. When you have it break up so much that you can't tell what goes with the northern hemisphere and what goes with the southern hemisphere, that's not good. And see this break here coming down to South America, and then it kind of goes up a little, but then you've got this one. It almost looks like this forks off and comes south. I don't know, but looks pretty bad. It's not even clumps anymore. I don't know what to call it. But it's causing weather chaos. We know that. We'll look at sea ice and snow cover in a minute. This is sea surface temperature anomaly as of Friday. And see the brown around Svalbard and red. So that's higher than normal. That's about 3 to 4 C higher than normal. And this Barents Sea is still in the brown. We still got brown around Greenland. We still have quite a bit of red here in the North Atlantic and pink. Gulf of Mexico is pretty much all in the brown. See? And look at off the coast of Mexico on the west side. See, that's in the brown. And most of the Atlantic is in the brown. There's a spot here off this east coast of Argentina. See, that gets red here in their summertime. So we're going to have to watch that. Also, look at around Australia and New Zealand. In their summertime, which is what they're heading into now, this water really heats up. And we've got reds here in between Japan and the mainland here, and then reds streaming out across the Pacific. Then we've got blues and look, some little purple here in the Pacific, coming up to South America there, equatorial Pacific. So worldwide we're up 0.3 C higher than normal. The northern hemisphere is up 0.5 C. North Atlantic is up 0.7 C. North Pacific is up 0.4 C. Southern hemisphere is up 0.2 C. And the equatorial Pacific is down 0.3 C. Now we'll head into sea ice. So this is from Climate Reanalyzer for today. I download these images every day so we can have a slideshow. This is sea ice and snow cover for the Arctic. We can see about half the Hudson Bay is filled back in, and here's the Baffin Bay. It's filling in on this west side, but this east side is still pretty open. And here along the Greenland coastline we're getting a little bit more ice there. It's still open around these two sides of Svalbard on the west and the south, and then here in the Barents Sea it's creeping back out in the extent. The Kara Sea is pretty much ice-filled now. Then you can see it's covered. Now when we look at NASA Worldview today, the nighttime view today is really excellent, and you'll be able to see where the leads are, the holes in the ice and things like that. You'll see how concentrated it is. Here the Bering Strait is filled up, and see it's coming from going out around the Alaska coastline and the Russia coastline, and we're getting some here around Russia in the Okhotsk Sea as well. So let's see what it's done this week. Here we were last Sunday on my show on the 12th. Now I don't know if we'll be able to see that much difference, but we'll take a peek. So here's Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and today. So that's what it's done this week. Now we'll move on here to our other models. This is from National Snow and Ice Data Center. This is what they had up today. Their data is for yesterday, the 18th. This is sea ice concentration for the Arctic. We can see this correlates to what we saw on Climate Reanalyzer, and this golden line, that's the median, so we're still below that. Here's the chart for the ice extent as of yesterday. This blue line is this year, the dotted line is for 2012, the gray line is the average. Now during the week we dipped down just below the 2012 line. See, this is the refreeze obviously, and then see it dipped down, so we're just above the 2012 line right now. kind of parallel with it, pretty close to it. In the summer of 2012 was the lowest sea ice extent. So the refreeze, tracking this, seeing how parallel we are, and see 2012, the ice was still really thick, and now we don't have that thick multi-year ice anymore. So here's the Antarctic for yesterday. This is sea ice concentration, and look at how this is. Now this is melting because it's their summertime, and this is going away really fast. And you can see here in the Ross Sea how that's all opened up, and then on this west side, here's their extent. There's the blue line with the belt, and the gray-green line was last year. We're running parallel, but lower. See, it's just about the same. With the way it's melting, but we're still a lot lower than this time last year. Now we'll look at the Navy models, U.S. Navy. This is the Arctic sea ice thickness for today. This is the chart for the thicknesses. The dark purple is about 1 meter thick. The dark aqua is about 1.5 meters thick. The bright aqua is about 2 meters thick. So just, like this area above Canada and Greenland. Then if you see green, that's about 3 meters thick. Yellow is about 3.5 meters thick. Bright red is about 4.5 meters thick. And if you see dark red, you'll see about 5 meters thick. But most of this you're going to see is purple and blue and aqua. So here we are. Mainly it's been thickening up, going from the dark purple now to blue, and we've got some aqua coming in around the coastlines. And see here around Greenland, here's the Baffin Bay. We still have this hole up here in the North Baffin Bay next to Greenland. Here's the Hudson Bay where it's refreezing. These tributaries are thickening up. Here's the Beaufort Sea, just gradually thickening. And then our thicker ice is now thickening. Well, it's thickening. We can see a little bit further out now, going all the way up to the North Pole. Here's the 30-day animation. Now this was updated to yesterday. So the data goes back 3 weeks, and the forecast goes out to next Saturday. So let's zoom in and see what they're forecasting. So these blues are moving into aquas and, getting thicker, but it's kind of holding the same shape. And then see, the purples are going into blues now. So there's that. Here's the Beaufort sea ice thickness for today. This is Canada on the right, Alaska at the bottom. We're seeing aqua along this Alaska coastline now. And got a little reddish orange here right around this one little island and a little bit here. So that's about 4 to 4.25 meters thick right there. We've got some green and yellow, so about 3.5 meters thick along in here. And then the bright aqua, about 2 to 2.25, and then the dark aqua, that's moving into the brighter aqua. So this is the Beaufort Sea right in here. So let's see what's happening here. Now this was updated to today. So here the forecast goes out to next Sunday. It's slowly thickening. It's just taking a long time. As you can see. Now we'll hop down to Antarctica. Here's the sea ice thickness for today. This is melting fast. Now traditionally, most of this sea ice will melt. It's on the periphery of the landmass, so there's nothing to really hold it in. So it melts and floats out. Now let's look at the 30-day animation. This was updated to yesterday, so the forecast goes out to next Saturday. Wow, look at that. Look how this just goes down to little nubs up here in the north. Now watch how this thins out in the Weddell Sea. That really goes down. Now it's keeping some thicker ice around this western peninsula and up towards the coastline. Then on this west side, see, here's some thicker ice, and then it melts around the coast, and see, it's thinning and melts on this periphery. Here's the Ross Sea. Look how that opens up. They're in high melt now. Then here's this southeast edge, and then the eastern edge. So there's that. That's all of those. Now, let's move on to NASA Worldview. Here we are today. I'll refresh and make sure we got everything. So this black area, that's what's in the dark in the Arctic right now. So after the 21st, this black area will start shrinking as the tilt of the Earth starts changing, and we'll start getting more sun up here. Here's sea ice concentration, and I'll turn on this blue marble layer so we can just see the ice. So let's go back to last Sunday and we'll see what has happened this week. So here we were on the 12th. Here's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So that's where we're at right now. Now, so this eastern edge of the sea ice is it's in motion, you can tell. Okay, now we'll turn on the nighttime layer, get our bearings, and turn that one off. Now I'm going to zoom out so you can see. I mean, this is phenomenal to be able to see it this clearly on this nighttime view. It's really phenomenal. There are not very many clouds up here right now, and so, and I don't know. It's just an excellent view. So here's Greenland, and here's the ice. So here's the coastline. So you can see the leads. Here's the ice on the east side. See, there it is. There's the ice edge. You can see it. Here's Svalbard. See, there's no ice on this bottom part or on the west, but it's got ice up on the top. And then here's the Barents Sea there. Let's go. Okay, well, we'll just keep on here. This is Franz Josef Land, and see, this isn't completely solid. There are lots of open spaces here around some of the coastlines. Let's see. Now here's Novaya Zemlya. See, it's open here on this west side. Here's the sea ice on the east side, and here's the little fringe ice that's refreezing here in the Kara Sea. Here's the Yamal Peninsula. Now these lights, that's from the liquid natural gas facility. Alright, and let's see. Let's go on. This is all the Kara Sea. Isn't this wonderful to be able to see all of this? See, this is ice. You can see pretty much everything here. Now, here's Severina Zimlia. This is Komsomolets right here. We'll turn that on just to get our bearings. Okay, so right around here is where the methane is billowing and streaming, and also here and around here in the North Kara Sea. And see, look at this open water. That's totally open. You can see. Open water there. Open there. Alright. Okay, now we're getting into this is the Laptev Sea. Here's the Taimyr Peninsula. Here's the coastline. This is ice, and we're looking through a little bit of cloud cover here. There you go. See the leads? The leads are these long lines. Those are the last to freeze. See? See, we still got a lot of open water. Look at that. Look at this. Okay, here's Alaska. This is Barrow. And see the open water right there along the coastline. Here's the Beaufort Sea. Look at this. Here's Canada. There's the ice. And we're getting into some clouds here. Let me get my bearings. Alright. Here's Ellesmere Island. So, see the leads, see these lines go way out. You can follow them all the way across. Now, okay, so here's the north coast of Greenland. This is the Lincoln Sea, and then this channel, this is the nearest strait, and look at all this open water. It's trying to refreeze, but it's not doing a very good job here. See, here's open. This is that open area on this northwest edge of Greenland. Look at that, open. So for whatever reason, the water must be quite a bit warmer around this edge, or this corner. Now here's ice, but see the dark, that's all open water. There's ice, see? Here's open water. This is the Baffin Bay here. Here's Greenland on the right, and then here's the ice edge in Baffin Bay where it's refreezing. And then Canada's over here. I just had to share that. This is just an incredible view of the nighttime layer. See, there it is. And the North Pole is right in here. Right in there. So there's that. Now, I'll turn off that layer. And brace yourself. Now we're going to go to the Antarctic. Bright sunlight, 24/7. We'll start down here in the Ross Sea. Look at how much has melted this week. This is all open. Here's a little bit of ice left that's still melting. Now here's Ross Island. Here's Mount Erebus. See, there's McMurdo Station. See, that's melting. Look at that. It's incredible, isn't it? Then coming around, look at all these. See, that's where it's breaking up, melting. Now right here, this is the Thwaites Glacier. This is also called the Doomsday Glacier. And new reports are out saying they're expecting this could collapse in the next 2 to 3 years. So here's a hole in the ice there. And here's another one. Now it had broken off up higher. And then this is the tongue, and this had broken off, but a bunch of it refroze. Let's go back. Oh, lots of clouds. Here we go. This was on the 15th. Here you can see more of how this ice is breaking off from the tongue. See? And see all these little pieces. That's where it's breaking off. Down here too. Up here. And then today, let's see. Right up here, oh, look at this. Side's coming apart. I think it's interesting to watch the ice pieces. Watch this. Watch this break up here. See, look at that. Now right up here, this is Pine Island Glacier. This is another one that's in high melt. Now there's a hole there. let's go back with no clouds. Okay, so this is a pretty good view on the 16th. This has calved off. A couple of years ago it calved off right up here. This whole area had melted, and then it refroze. But you see, it looks like that's cracking up there. Here's another hole. This is the flow of the glacier here. So that's melting. So let's see. Can't see that much today. So these are the holes opening up. Then, coming around, here's the Western Peninsula. Now, this is the Weddell ice shelf. Here's the Weddell Sea. All of this area up here is the Weddell Sea. Now, here is the A76 iceberg that broke off right before their winter, and it's moving. We can see it's still intact. That's huge. So it's moving out now. It broke off right down here off of this Roni ice shelf. So it's moving, making its way through the ice. It's got quite a bit of momentum going, I think. Here's the Larsen C ice shelf. Here's Larsen B, what's left of that. Larsen A is up here. And see, yesterday, see, look at all of this. Now, a big piece had broken off here about 3 years ago, and that was A68. And we watched that through its journeys. And this is kind of where it had refrozen, but it's coming apart fast. Let's see. There's the 15th. Here we are today. Kind of hard to tell with all those clouds. Now, let's move on around. Here's the Brunt ice shelf. Here it is today. These are clouds over it. This is just some sea ice that refroze, but you can see where it's coming off. See the open water. Then on the north end, here we are. See, look at all this. Then the east side, this is a really good view. Here's the Amory ice shelf. Here's the sea ice. Here's the flow. The several glaciers empty into this one ice shelf. And then this is the Totem Glacier. I'm watching this area at the bottom. See the crack? It's gonna come loose, it looks like. And we're back to where we started. So this is, it'll be interesting to see what else we can see as this melts out this year. So there's that. Now I'll just briefly go over La Palma. Let's refresh. See, so their last update was on Friday, and it said volcano remains calm, but small quakes continue. Here's a picture, and it's still smoking. So as of Friday, it says for 3 days no eruptive activity has taken place, and the likelihood that the eruption is actually over is clearly increasing. The cone only shows mild degassing and no lava flows are active anymore. So they haven't officially declared it over, but nothing for 3 days as of Friday. Now here on EMSC, when I loaded this up, there were 26 earthquakes in the last 24 hours. So here's La Palma. We're seeing the movement spread out. This is Tenerife, Santa Cruz, Tenerife, all around that little island. And most of these are in the 34 to 40 kilometer deep range. Most of them are 2s. I saw, here's a 3.2. Let's refresh and see what it is now. 30. So that's an increase. So these are 2s. And here's that 3.2. So we're going to keep an eye on all of that. Now we'll go over earthquakes. Uh-oh. This one just came in. 6.0 South Sandwich Islands. We just saw that area at Antarctica. There was a 6.3 near Lombasa, Fiji. This came in at 8:28 this morning, Pacific time. It's in the ocean just off the coast of this little island. That's the biggest in the last 24 hours. So, let's look at all magnitudes for the last week. 1,825 earthquakes in this last week. We had 4.1 north of Severnaya Zemlya. That was on the 14th. There was a 4.7 yesterday in the Greenland Sea. See, just between Svalbard and Greenland. And see all these big dots? These are six ranges. Here's a 6.0 just south of Africa. And then South Sandwich Islands. See, they're they're getting back on the map here. 11 this week. So they had another 6.0 on the 16th. And then we just now had another 6.0. So mainly 4s down here and at 5, and then 2 6s. So that hasn't stopped. And see here along this west side of South America, lots of activity here in the Fiji area. 25 down here. Here was 7.3. Okay, so that was the largest this week. This was just off the coast of this Indonesian island in the Flores Sea. This was on the 13th. And see all those around there. So you can see it's been busy. There's Alaska. We've had more activity down here in the Gulf of California that I'm watching. 10 this week. 5.1. See, that was the biggest one. Here's 4s, 4.8, 4.8, 4.6, and so on. Now this fault line, this is the Imperial Fault Line. It becomes the San Andreas Fault Line up here in California. So that's all connected. Look at all this activity. We had had a couple of more here on the Juan de Fuca plate. And here's Pacific Northwest, Yellowstone. You can see all the dots. Utah, and so on. Here was a 3.0 near Winslow West, Arizona, right in the middle. That was a little unusual. And then here in West Texas, look at this. 15. Look, one's up here in New Mexico. The largest was a 4.4 at Toya. And so on. And we're still having earthquakes up here in Kansas near Gypsum. They had 9 here this week. So that's still going. 4.0 was the biggest there. And just today, we had a 2.4 at Junction City, Illinois. So, it hasn't stopped. So that's my report for this week. And I'd like to finish up by reading out of the Bible. I always like to bring things back to a spiritual perspective. I believe we're in the end times. And these times that we're in were prophesied of by Jesus and by the prophets in the Old Testament too. And so this is one of the main reasons that I keep doing these shows, to see how far along we are in this timeline and I think we're marching faster and faster to the end. And in the end, Jesus returns and defeats Satan. So we're reading out of the book of John. This is one of the Gospels in the New Testament, and it's the story of Jesus' life. And the letters that are in red, the words that are in red, are Jesus' words. John chapter 8. Jesus went unto the Mount of Olives, and early in the morning he came again into the temple, and all the people came unto him, and he sat down and taught them. And the scribes and Pharisees brought unto him a woman taken in adultery, and when they had set her in the midst, they say unto him, Master, this woman was taken in adultery in the very act. Now Moses in the law commanded us that such should be stoned, but what sayest thou? This they said, tempting him, that they might have to accuse him. But Jesus stooped down, and with his finger wrote on the ground, as though he heard them not. So when they continued asking him, he lifted up himself and said unto them, He that is without sin among you, let him first cast a stone at her. And again he stooped down and wrote on the ground. And they which heard it, being convicted by their own conscience, went out one by one, beginning at the eldest, even unto the last. And Jesus was left alone, and the woman standing in the midst. When Jesus had lifted up himself, and saw none but the woman, he said unto her, Woman, where are those thine accusers? Hath no man condemned thee? She said, No man, Lord. And Jesus said unto her, Neither do I condemn thee. Go and sin no more. Then spake Jesus again unto them, saying, I am the light of the world. He that followeth me shall not walk in darkness, but shall have the light of life. The Pharisees therefore said unto him, Thou bearest record of thyself, thy record is not true. Jesus answered and said unto them, Though I bear record of myself, yet my record is true. For I know whence I came, and whither I go, but ye cannot tell whence I come and whither I go. Ye judge after the flesh, I judge no man. And yet if I judge, my judgment is true, for I am not alone, but I and the Father that sent me. It is also written in your law, that the testimony of 2 men is true. I am one that bear witness of myself, and the Father that sent me beareth witness of me. Then said they unto him, Where is thy Father? Jesus answered, Ye neither know me nor my Father. If ye had known me, ye should have known my Father also. These words spake Jesus in the treasury, as he taught in the temple, and no man laid hands on him, for his hour was not yet come. Then said Jesus again unto them, I go my way, and ye shall seek me, and shall die in your sins. Whither I go, ye cannot come. Then said the Jews, Will he kill himself? Because he saith, Whither I go, ye cannot come. And he said unto them, Ye are from beneath, I am from above. Ye are of this world, I am not of this world. I said therefore unto you, that ye shall die in your sins. For if ye believe not that I am he, ye shall die in your sins. Then said they unto him, Who art thou? And Jesus saith unto them, Even the same that I said unto you from the beginning. I have many things to say and to judge of you, but he that sent me is true, and I speak to the world those things which I have heard of him. They understood not that he spake to them of the Father. Then said Jesus unto them, When ye have lifted up the Son of Man, then shall ye know that I am he, and that I do nothing of myself, but as my Father hath taught me, I speak these things. And he that sent me is with me. The Father hath not left me alone, for I do always those things that please him. As he spake these words, many believed on him. Then said Jesus to those Jews which believed on him, If ye continue in my word, then are ye my disciples indeed, and ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. They answered him, We be Abraham's seed, and were never in bondage to any man. How sayest thou, Ye shall be made free? Jesus answered them, Verily, verily, I say unto you, Whosoever committeth sin is the servant of sin. And the servant abideth not in the house forever, but the Son abideth ever. If the Son therefore shall make you free, ye shall be free indeed. I know that ye are Abraham's seed, but ye seek to kill me, because my word hath no place in you. I speak that which I have seen with my Father, and ye do that which ye have seen with your father. They answered and said unto him, Abraham is our father. Jesus saith unto them, If ye were Abraham's children, ye would do the works of Abraham. But now ye seek to kill me, a man that hath told you the truth, which I have heard of God. This did not Abraham. Ye do the deeds of your father. Then said they to him, We be not born of fornication. We have one Father, even God. Jesus said unto them, If God were your Father, ye would love him. For I proceeded forth and came from God. Neither came I of myself, but he sent me. Why do ye not understand my speech? Even because ye cannot hear my word. Ye are of your father the devil, and the lusts of your father ye will do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar, and the father of it. And because I tell you the truth, ye believe me not. Which of you convinceth me of sin? And if I say the truth, why do ye not believe me? He that is of God heareth God's words. Ye therefore hear them not, because ye are not of God. Then answered the Jews, and said unto him, Say we not well that thou art a Samaritan, and hast a devil? Jesus answered, I have not a devil, but I honor my Father, and ye do dishonor me. And I seek not mine own glory. There is one that seeketh and judgeth. Verily, verily, I say unto you, if a man keep my saying, he shall never see death. Then said the Jews unto him, Now we know that thou hast a devil. Abraham is dead, and the prophets, and thou sayest, If a man keep my saying, he shall never taste of death. Art thou greater than our father Abraham, which is dead, and the prophets are dead? Whom makest thou thyself? Jesus answered, If I honor myself, my honor is nothing. It is my Father that honoureth me, of whom ye say that he is your God. Yet ye have not known him, but I know him. And if I should say, I know him not, I shall be a liar like unto you. But I know him, and keep his saying. Your father Abraham rejoiced to see my day, and he saw it, and was glad. Then said the Jews unto him, Thou art not yet 50 years old, and hast thou seen Abraham? Jesus said unto them, Verily, verily, I say unto you, before Abraham was, I am. Then took they up stones to cast at him, but Jesus hid himself, and went out of the temple, going through the midst of them, and so passed by. John chapter 8. So time is short, and if you haven't given your life to Jesus, I recommend you do it while you still have a chance. So I love you all, and I'm praying for you. And until next time, God bless you. Go in peace, and I will talk to you soon. Good night.